This news story was written by Perry Stein, Jeremy Roebuck, and Liz Goodwin. Representative LaMonica McIver charged with assaulting 2 agents in New Jersey ICE clash. The Democratic lawmaker said she turned down a deal from prosecutors who wanted me to admit to doing something that I did not do. Democratic Representative LaMonica McIver is charged with assaulting 2 federal agents during a confrontation last week outside an immigration detention center in New Jersey, according to a criminal complaint made public Tuesday. The complaint charges McIver with 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, and impeding officers during a May 9th confrontation at the newly opened Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark. The crimes are punishable by up to a year in prison if she is convicted. Alina Habba, the interim U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, announced the charges in a statement Monday evening. She also said her office would dismiss the trespassing charge it filed against Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, Democrat, over the same incident, though she did not explain the reasoning behind that move. The highly unusual action by the Justice Department, charging a sitting member of Congress after a heated clash in which no one was injured, follows the equally unusual arrest of a local judge in Wisconsin this month on obstruction charges for allegedly helping an undocumented migrant in her courtroom evade U.S. immigration authorities. Trump administration officials and allies had called for charges against McIver and 2 lawmakers who were with her during the May 9th incident. Attorney General Pam Bondi and her top deputies have repeatedly promised to go after local, state, and elected officials, whom they accuse of impeding the administration's immigration enforcement efforts. The Justice Department is also considering dropping its policy that requires career prosecutors specializing in public corruption cases to approve indictments of U.S. lawmakers, The Washington Post reported this week. At the Capitol on Tuesday morning, President Donald Trump accused McIver of being out of control and said that the days of that crap are over. Democratic leaders in Congress called the decision to bring charges a blatant attempt by the Trump administration to intimidate Congress and interfere with our ability to serve as a check and balance on an out-of-control executive branch. House Democrats will not be intimidated by the Trump administration. Not today, not ever, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat New York, and other leaders said in a statement. Habba, a former personal lawyer for Trump who received sanctions and judicial reprimands while representing him, said she attempted to reach a resolution with McIver without pressing charges but was not successful. She did not say what sort of deal she tried to broker. McIver, in an interview with CNN on Tuesday morning, said there were discussions between her attorneys and Habba's office before charges were filed, but did not detail the specific terms prosecutors offered her. The Justice Department and Alina Habba wanted me to admit to doing something that I did not do, and I was not going to do that, she said. I came here to do my job and conduct an oversight visit, and they wanted me to say something differently, and I'm not doing that. McIver dismissed the case against her as an attempt at political intimidation. McIver went to the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark, along with Representatives Bonnie Watson Coleman and Robert Menendez Jr., both Democrats from New Jersey, as part of a congressional oversight visit, which is permitted under federal law. Baraka was blocked from entering the facility and later retreated to public property alongside protesters outside it. A scuffle then erupted between Baraka, masked law enforcement officials, and the 3 lawmakers. Baraka was arrested and charged with trespassing. At a hearing in federal court Thursday morning, federal prosecutors vowed to take his case to trial this summer, though Habba has said those charges will be dismissed. Video released by the Department of Homeland Security showed McIver rushing after the agents as they attempted to arrest Baraka outside the facility's gates and shouting to protesters outside to surround the mayor. At one point, McIver's elbows appeared to make contact with a masked officer amid the crush of the crowd. The criminal complaint filed Tuesday accuses McIver of assaulting the agents, saying she slammed her forearm into the body of one agent and used each of her forearms to forcibly strike another. McIver's initial court appearance was not immediately scheduled, according to online court dockets. Those records listed the line prosecutor handling the case as Stephen Demanovich, who also appeared in court last week to argue the case against Baraka before the decision to dismiss it. Demanovich joined the New Jersey U.S. Attorney's Office earlier this month as a counselor to Habba. In her statement Monday, Habba said McIver's actions cannot be overlooked by the chief federal law enforcement official in the state of New Jersey. It is my constitutional obligation to ensure that our federal law enforcement is protected when executing their duties. House Democrats questioned Habba's account of McIver's behavior, noting that the lawmaker went on an hour-long tour of the center after the melee that was captured on video. Several Republican lawmakers celebrated the charges, however, and at least one had already introduced a resolution that would boot all 3 lawmakers who were on the Delaney Hall tour from their committees. I fully support the Trump administration's decision to charge Mrs. McIver, who sits on the Homeland Security Committee, of all places, for her actions that are clearly documented on video. House Committee on Homeland Security Chairman Mark Green, Republican, Tennessee, said in a statement, "We need to send a clear message to would-be lawbreakers around this country. Under this administration, no matter how privileged you are, you will be subject to the rule of law." McIver's lawyer, former U.S. Attorney Paul J. Fishman, called the decision to prosecute her spectacularly inappropriate and said she had simply been performing her duties as a member of Congress, overseeing conditions at the facility when the clash erupted. Rather than facilitating that inspection, ICE agents chose to escalate what should have been a peaceful situation into chaos, Fishman said in a statement. This prosecution is an attempt to shift the blame for ICE's behavior to Congresswoman McIver. In the courtroom, facts, not headlines, will matter. Aaron C. Davis and Mariana Sotomayor contributed to this report.
One thing's for certain, ladies and gentlemen, if everyone is so subject to the rule of law, no matter how privileged they are, then how come a 34-count sexual predator, rapist, criminal is in the Oval Office currently and illegally? He deserves to be subject to the rule of law just like everyone else. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's legal breaking reporting and video analysis update. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting and legal breaking analysis update, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Firstly. Secondly, if you want to make sure that you're always up to date on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please hit the bell icon as well as the subscribe button, the all notifications option. The bell icon is located directly beneath the screen here on the right hand side of the subscribe button. Thirdly, if you guys want to stay up to date as well on all the things legal breaking reporting wise on the side of politics, please follow me on my social medias that'll be linked down below in the video description. I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, Threads, as well as TikTok. There you guys will be updated instantly when I post brand new legal breaking reporting and video analysis updates to the channel. Fourthly, ladies and gentlemen, please stay positive. Even though, unfortunately, I know it's hard for some of you guys to stay positive during these unfortunate illegal-induced darkness times caused by the illegal, unconstitutional Trump administration, Trump regime. And know that justice will prevail eventually on the correct side of the law, despite Donald Trump and his illegal, unconstitutional administration and regime's illegal, unconstitutional executive orders, actions, and behaviors. And please stay safe, and I will talk to you guys in the next legal breaking reporting. Oh, and before we close out today's reporting, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the goal of 170, plus subscribers. The reason why I'm saying 170 plus subscribers is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 170 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 170 subscribers.